Hey guys, what's up? It's Stephanie. I have another video for you guys this week. This is going to be a vlog more than anything. So I'm going to be talking about finals week. I just finished my first semester at PA school and I just finished taking my finals for PA school. So I'm going to be talking about that for those of you that are curious how are finals week in graduate school, specifically PA school, physician assistant school. So I'll be talking about that. So I just finished my first semester of PA school and I just finished taking my finals. So for those of you that are curious about finals or how are finals in graduate school, specifically PA school, the past 3 weeks, so I had my Thanksgiving break, right? And then I came back from my Thanksgiving break, and literally when I came back, it was just like boom, 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 boom. So I just started having exams over exams over exams over exams. So the past 3 weeks were, it was difficult, guys. It was really, really difficult. It was difficult. I would say they have been the most challenging weeks of my life, the most stressful weeks of my life. I had no sleep. I was running on very little sleep. Most of the students around me were stressed. There was a few breakdowns, of course, anxiety breakdowns, because it was just really stressful. And especially if you were in a situation where your grades were kind of like dangling, you were close to that B or you were close to that A, it was even more stressful because you wanted to make sure that you got that grade. In my program, I'm not sure if other programs, but in my program, there is no rounding up. So if you graduate with an 89 point, if you have a class at the end of the semester and it's an 89.95 or 96 or 97, they won't round it up to the 90.0. So that's one of the things that also, caused a lot of stress in students, and I can say stress in myself and anxiety in myself was the fact that you were so close to that next grade that you wanted to make sure that you were going to do well, but also the anxiety and the stress that you had all these exams, guys. We had so many exams. I think I had so many exams. So I'm taking a total of 7 classes. So I'm taking my patient encounter class. I am taking my pharmacology class, my introduction to clinical medicine class, aka ICM, and I'm also taking my pathophysiology class, my EKG class where you read EKGs, and then the 7th class is PA professions where you learn about the PA profession itself. And so we had 7 exams. So can you imagine 7 exams? And then some of these classes have practicals, so they have a second part. So we have patient encounter, that you have the lecture part where you have your final exam in the lecture, and then you also have the lab practical. So that's 2 exams for that class. And then for anatomy, we have our practical also, and then we have our lecture part for that exam. So we had 2 parts for some of the classes. So I would say overall, let's see, we had 6 classes. I had about 12 exams in 3 weeks. So there was one day where we took 4 exams. It's called our Black Monday. And then after that, it was just exam after exam after exam. So we got back and then we had EKG exam. In that class, to be honest with you guys, it was one of the classes that I struggled a lot at the beginning of the semester. I struggled a lot because it is literally it's a different language to me. You're learning to read EKGs. You're learning to read what the waves mean on the EKGs, how a slight movement in the wave or the width of the wave or amplitude or etc. can mean a certain condition, whether they have a bundle branch block or an arrhythmia or a sinus block, etc. They mean a certain thing. So it's really important for providers and physicians and healthcare providers to be able to read what the diagnosis is, or be able to distinguish whether it's a normal EKG and an abnormal EKG. So that was one of the classes that I really, really struggled in, was EKG. And so I made sure that I studied a lot for it because I was struggling in the class and I wanted to do well. And so the first week of my finals, I had my Wednesday exam, which was that one. Study, spend the entire weekend studying. Even during my Thanksgiving break, even though, you know, we had a break, we had a 3-day break. We had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm sorry, 5 days, guys. We have 5 days. And then Monday we returned to class. Well, during my Thanksgiving break, I was studying because I wanted to make sure I wanted to do well, and I was really anxious and stressed out because of the situation I was in. And then after Wednesday, the following day, Thursday, we had our anatomy practical. So I was making sure that I was studying for my EKG exam and my anatomy practical during my Thanksgiving break. Well, I did enough studying for that, and I did actually very well in my EKG exam. I got 100 on my EKG exam, and then the following day I had my anatomy practical, which I got a 96. So thankfully I was able to do well. And then that Friday I had my what exam was it? It was anatomy lecturer, I believe. So it was 3 exams that week. And then that following week, no, I'm sorry, that Friday we had our radiology exam. So we had 3 exams that week, and then the following week, that Monday, we had 4 exams on that Monday. And then from that Monday, we had another exam on Friday, which was our anatomy lecture exam. And then the following week was when we started having our finals. So it was so many classes, guys, and it was very stressful those weeks. And it was really important to have time management because you were wanting to have appropriate time for each class and not spend too much time on one class, which is going to affect you because you're not going to spend as much time in another class. And I learned this because my first exam, actually it was my second round of exams, I put too much time on 2 of my classes and didn't put as much time on the other 2 classes. And so I saw that because of the grades I got. I actually didn't do very well in one of my classes. I didn't do very well at all because I had to go talk to a professor. Because if you don't score higher than a certain percentage, you have to go and talk to the professor and your advisor. You know, because they just want to check in to see, you know, what's going on, whether, you know, is it the way that they are teaching, you're not understanding the information well, etc. So I went to go see my professor, and she asked me, you know, what's going on? And I was frankly honest with her. I told her, you know, I made a mistake and I didn't study enough for this class as I should have studied. And so that's one of the things that's really important. And that was one of the things I was struggling also, you know, my finals week, because I was trying to give all this amount to the classes I was struggling in or I wasn't doing in. And that's not the solution, guys. And so, you know, it was really stressful because you were trying to split your equally, say, you know what, I'm only going to spend 1 hour studying for this class. Once the hour's up, I'm going to switch and go to the next class, and switch, go to the next class. And you know what, there was some students in my class who were very, very good at doing that. They had very good time management skills. I can say that my time management skills were okay, but they weren't as good as these other students. And that's another thing, you know, don't compare yourself to other students. But yeah, it was really stressful, guys. There was times where I broke down. I called my mom crying. Yeah, and I called her and I vented to her because, you know, sometimes it's really important to also have, you know, someone you can talk to, especially during PA school. So I would call her and vent to her and tell her I was really stressed out and also doubt myself, like I probably said in my other videos. But yeah, that was basically our finals. It's also really important to get enough sleep, which I was not doing. And so I remember there was days that my eyelids were just really, really heavy. And there was times where, I mean, I was studying the information, but I wasn't absorbing it or I wasn't retaining it. I was just passively reading it. And that was another thing that also affected me. And so overall, I learned so much this first semester, guys. And I'm just sharing this experience with you guys. For those of you who have been accepted to PA school, congratulations, guys. That's awesome. But, you know, also be aware, I'm not trying to scare you guys whatsoever at all, because I learned so much this first semester, and I'm so happy for everything that I learned. But also to just share this journey with you guys, not to be so hard on yourself. Sometimes I would think that I was the only individual that was going through all this. I was the only student that was going through all the stress, because, you know, I would see other students and some of them would be stressed, some of them wouldn't. And so, you know, like I said, don't compare yourself to other students. They may be stressed out, but they're dealing with the stress in their own way. Also, to ask for help. That was one thing I didn't do. I was very embarrassed to ask for help. I was really shy. I'm a very shy individual overall. So, you know, ask for help. Ask the professors for help. Ask your students that are within your group or within your class for help, you know. That was one thing that I learned also, is that, you know, that's why my program put us in groups. They put our class, or 80 students, they split us up in groups, 8 groups. And so that's why they put us in group. Is that so you can rely on the students that are within your group. You may be weak in one area and your other fellow student may have a strength in that area. For example, during our hematology module and immunology module, I had two students in my group that were prior lab technicians or lab technologists, and so they knew that information so well, and they were able to explain to us and teach us, etc. And so, you know, if you're struggling, let the other students in your program know, or your fellow classmates know, so they can help you. I know it can be, for me, I was embarrassed about it and I didn't want people to know my grades or how I was doing, but, you know, in the long run, you want to become a PA. They all have the goal of becoming a PA, and they're going through the same thing you are. And so, you know, reach out, and not only to them, reach out to your professors. Your professors really care about you. At least in my program, they really do. They really want you to pass, and they really want you to become a PA. So why else would they have accepted you in the program? And also, don't be hard on yourself, guys. So that's why I'm hopefully making these videos, just so I can share my journey with you guys, and you guys can see that if you are struggling in PA school, you know, you're not the only one. I struggled definitely my first semester, I can say, and thankfully I finished my first semester and I learned so much from it, and hopefully everything I learned I'm going to use my second semester, and that's why I'm talking about it right now, so you guys can learn from it. And it's definitely a journey, but it's totally going to be worth it once you become a PA, and this turns into a PAS to a PAC. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you have any feedback for me, make sure you comment below or send me an email. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Just let me know any feedback. I'm trying to make these videos better for you guys. Alright guys, so I will talk to you guys later.